I'm very glad that I could talk with Mr. Jean-Michel Jarre. Welcome in Bratislava.
Thank you.
And I have a few questions to you. Not only fans have wondered why your music albums have scientific or historical names like Oxygen, Equinox, Metamorphosis. Is there an intention or not?
Yes, I always considered that when you're not doing songs with lyrics, but when you are in instrumental music, which is just music, sometimes it's a bit artificial to create names just for the sake of them. And I always approached each album as almost like a book, like a novel, and then I like the idea that there is one generic name which is actually encapsulating the whole mood of the album, and where every part is a chapter.
Let's go to another question. The phenomenon on recent years are artificial intelligence. It helps in many things like in medicine, chemistry, physics, and it's very special also in art. And maybe in the future will be great very special music just for the clients, just for the listeners. Do you think that people will lose their creativity? I mean, the artists in the future. That it will be changed by the technology.
I don't think so. I don't. I mean, technology is dictating style, as you know. I mean, as I say sometimes, I mean, it's because we invented the violin that Vivaldi did the music he did. It's because we invented the camera that we have Tarantino, Godard, or Fritz Lang, and not the reverse. It's because we invented the synthesizers, like people like me, musicians like me, are doing the music we're doing. So actually, I don't think technology is going to change that. Every generation develops its own style because of the new tools we have. Suddenly, today and tomorrow we'll have AI, and AI is going to of course, being a big game changer in the way we are creating music and arts, like electricity has been of course created a big change for musicians and for any kind of art forms.
And what is also maybe the difference between the technology and the humans? That's the technology means emotions. For example, once, it's maybe 7 years before, you publish on social media the statue of Ludwig von Beethoven, which you have inside your house and which inspired you. Do you think that's will the art also inspire the technology, or the technology will never get the emotion which we as a human have?
But it's a big misunderstanding, because technology is not creating emotions like tools is not creating emotions. It's the hand of the artist. What if he is using a brush, a hammer, or a computer? So technology is a tool, and the trap of these days is to think that technology may be a solution to create emotions. You are creating the emotions as the artist.
Yes.
And it's also the same thing with AI. AI is actually, I used lots of AI recently, and especially for this project Bridge of the Future that I'm going to perform next month in Bratislava. It's actually, I used lots of AI to conceive and create all the graphics, for instance. And that was, for me, it has been a fantastic experience, and it was a fantastic extension to my imagination. But it's still absolutely my style and what I wanted to create. It's something very specific, and I think that people will see that it's something that doesn't look like anything else, because it was under my control from A to Z.
We are talking about the science because the Starmus, it's a big festival about the science, but also about the artists. You meet a lot of very famous people like Jacques Cousteau or Arthur Clarke. These people has inspired you in previous years, because as I know, with Arthur Clarke, you was big fan and also big friends of him. How did you inspire?
Of course, I mean, people you mentioned, such as Arthur C. Clarke, has been a major influence on my work. I mean, 2001 for me, the Space Odyssey, has been something which is one of my foundation as a source of inspiration. Like also in another sense, you were mentioning Jacques Cousteau. I mean, I dedicated as you know, an album, Waiting for Cousteau, to him. The concert I did in Paris was also something dedicated to him. So because of environment, because my interest and involvement in environment, since Oxygen, I've been really heavily involved in the environmental issues. So of course, these great people have been a great source of inspiration, indeed.
And I think maybe the best inspiration you get from your grandfather, André Jarre, which was also inventor.
Exactly, he was an inventor. He created lots of things, which also has been very influential to me.
Back to the concert in Bratislava, you made concert more than how many years? The first one was in 1979 in La Concorde. What will be difference with the concert in Bratislava and the previous concert which was on the world, across the world?
What is quite interesting is actually this concert in Bratislava may be the last one of its kind. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about myself. I'm not talking about but because after COVID, I think that we changed paradigm. The big concert I've done in the past, like in Houston, in China, at the pyramids, are more and more difficult to stage for lots of reasons, for safety reasons, for lots of different reasons. And the fantastic opportunity is actually to do it here in Bratislava, in the heart of Europe, to also promote the idea that our values, we have specific European values, and in terms of vision, innovation, and as I said yesterday in the press conference yesterday, I discovered the first flying car. You know, when I was a kid, I was dreaming about a flying car, that maybe I would fly in a fly car, and I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. So yes. You know, it's what's fantastic in this country and Slovakia. It's a small country, but also it's like the heart of Europe, like your own heart. It's small in your body, but it's very, of course, very important and essential. And I think that it's a fantastic opportunity with the Starmus Festival, gathering all these fantastic minds and Nobel Prize and all these people to be able to join forces to try to send a message which is universal, but coming from the heart of Europe, which is so important for me.
And maybe the last question. On the concert, on the stage, you will be together with famous Brian May, the guitarist, the scientist, the astronaut. And as I know, you are good friends, many years. And very simple question, when you meet together, are you talking about the music or about the astronomy and physics?
We are talking about maybe something else, about our lives, about what matters, but of course very quickly we go back to music and also to space, because astrophysics is linked to space. And what's very important, what's very interesting for this festival is actually Starmus was dedicated to space and to people who are exploring space. And this edition is quite special because it's actually saying, okay, now it's time for space to look at us. This is the idea that I got this title in mind, like having not a bridge to the future, but a bridge from the future. As I said this morning, I mean, what is fascinating is actually all discoveries in science, all art forms, are existing somewhere already in the future. We don't know it. We don't know it. So when people when we invented electricity or when we're inventing AI, it was already existing in the future. We just didn't know it. So it's what I like in this idea of the fact that art and music and science are quite close together. And of course, it's a real pleasure to welcome Brian May as a musician, as a astrophysicist, or physicist, but also as a citizen of the world also. And this is what we like together, to join forces also to convey this kind of message.
Yes, this is very important.
And you know what's important also is also to stage a concert as an open-air civic event, free, open to everybody. I think in these days it's very important to go back to what playing music, performing music is all about. It's not about ghetto. It's not about elite. It's like science.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this whole festival, on a scientific point of view, also is open to everybody, and that was a very important aspect of this project. Is actually to do an outdoor open air free concert, which becomes actually a civic event and open to everybody. And this concert already belonged to the city, belonged to Slovakia.
And as I know, many fans want to join your concert, not just from Slovakia or from Central Europe, but also from USA, from Chile, and many foreign countries. So it will be really big event.
I think so. I think it's for me it's one of the most ambitious projects I've been involved with because as you know, I'm more and more involved in I've always been involved in the stage design and the graphics, but this time I really consider everything: the architecture, the like I did previously, but also all the graphics, and also I revisited entirely all my classics. Not remixing is a kind of dance floor remix, but actually being faithful to the original version, but just to make them a little more organic, a little, but being really faithful to the original version. And I think that the fans would like it. I'm really working more and more, spending more and more time in mixing and mastering, and to try really to create also this kind of organic aspect that I love so much in electronic music. Electronic music is not dead. It's actually, as we know, something very could be very lively and like classical music. And the classical music is the emotions are depending on the conductor. So yes. I'm trying to improve my position of conductor of my own electronic music.
Yes, and it's true that sound is something what can touch the child when the woman is pregnant. The sound is the first what to get the
exactly.
child.
I mean, sound is at the heart of. We are talking about immersive world so much with VR, with video games, with metaverse, and everybody is talking about visuals. But we know that the visual field is 140 degrees, where the audio field is 360 degrees. So actually it's quite a paradox that for centuries people had a frontal relationship, musicians, composers like us, we had a frontal relationship with music by considering music in front of us. When you are composing for an orchestra, you see the orchestra in front of you. When you are in a studio, you have speakers in front of you. When you are in a festival, you have PA systems in front of you. So you have this kind of flat 2D relationship with sound, where on a day-to-day basis, on the day-to-day life, sounds are all around your head. And now technology, and this is another sign that technology can offer us today things that we couldn't explore before, is actually to be able to compose in 360, what I've done with my last album, Oxymore, which I conceived it from scratch in 360, which is something totally different, which also, like AI, will create a new genres and the hip-hop, the rock, and the techno of tomorrow, as I said.
And maybe really the last question, will you prepare maybe also some new tracks for this event, for this concert?
Surprise.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.